I actually didn't watch any other reviewer of last week's chapter, although I heard that a lot of people were disappointed, which surprised me because I thought this kind of despair was exactly what they were looking for. So maybe I should watch some reviewers of next week to see what their thoughts were on this, because I can agree that I don't like this situation. Things are looking bleak. Just when things are really starting to look up, I don't really think this is a good way to end the Kingdom of 2018, because I presume this is the final Kingdom chapter of 2018. And the Angry Anime Fan here to bring you a late review of that one. Basically, it's a chapter to show how outmatched and why Ohon is outmatched. So either way, they head out, and as his retainer says that will stall one of them people. Ohon says to him, be wary. However, it's also the other retainer is saying that Shugaraku is making his move. This is what they're aiming for. Of course, Ohon knows that, but as they all head out, the battle begins, and Kyoka is ready to fight Gyoyon if that happens, because, well, he can win. But then suddenly a huge amount of army that is actually the Gekue's surviving army is heading towards them. It's pretty surprising that they're heading towards them now. They didn't even dare to approach Shin after he took down the leader in just one hit. However, uh, however, now that they're working together, it's not gonna be that easy anymore. So, the main army do their Goroki and manage to repel a large amount of the Gakue unit. So, however, Shin is not moving because he suddenly got a very bad feeling, and he realizes that he cannot tell what they're aiming for. Saying something like he realizes that Gyoyon is not aiming for Kyokai, because if he did, he would have emitted a large amount of bloodlust. So he is moving else somewhere else. But and this is instinctive at all. But then suddenly someone who is named Hoba mentions that Guyun has vanished. It's during this time that uh, Banaji's troop mentions that they were the one who sent the Gakure unit behind them, and now it is actually just for a distraction, so the Guyun army can pass behind them. We see last night what Kain said, that what Riboku said, and why Ohun is doing that. The first is that while Riboku says that accomplished wise they are equal, uh, the they're saying that Gyuhyun unit has only 5,000, while each unit has 8,000 somehow, and therefore they're pushing themselves harder. And there's also a compatibility, which is a second reason. General Guyun is an instinctual type, and Shin is also such type, meaning that eventually he can read their moves. However, Ohun is not an instinctual type, at least not what I presume, meaning that Ohun cannot predict what Guyun is gonna do if he's taking his head, and that is well the reason why Shin got a bad feeling, because he couldn't tell of it all. And then the narrator begins to mention a lot of different things of how much Ohuan was outplayed, because they were caught up. They thought they saw the cavalry that was heading towards them, but the 300 cavalry that was heading towards them was Gyuyun's elite, the the ones who serve under his direct command, as they blazes through so easily, is they're realizing that a huge slugfest is in order, and during that time a new distraction is happening, where someone few dozen is going through the other side, and by the time they had noticed, it was already too late, because that group was actually the 10 spears, the 10 best warriors of the already elite Royal army, and the cream of the crop, with Gyuyun himself. Basically, they were coming from both sides, I presume. I don't really know what happened here. This chapter was too much information. I don't really like too much information because that way I cannot follow what is happening. But yeah, I admit this was not a good chapter, at least not for me. It's just showing how much Ohun was outplayed. Don't get me wrong, I still hate Ohun, and he can burn in hell for all I care. But I still don't like the fact that and when we finally see that the Sao is gonna lose, then we suddenly hear a rumor that Ohun is the one who's gonna win. Well, no, Ohun is gonna win, is gonna lose, and this is the final day. They have no food left. So if they are gonna win, at least let them win. Shin were the only one who figured out that something was wrong, but he couldn't predict what Gohan was saying. So now they are all completely collapsed. What is gonna happen next? No idea. All I know is despair way to end the kingdom chapter. What will Shin do now? Will he leave his army to go to Gyoyun, or will it be something else? I have no idea anymore. Give me your thoughts if you have any.